Who here was at Diwali and our Govardhan Puja this weekend? Wow, I'm still here today. You all deserve a lot of hard balls. This is amazing. So the festival continues, and the festival will continue on Tuesday, the Srila Prabhupada's Disappearance Day. Every day is a festival, but that will be the last extra festival for a little while. But today we have Vasudeva Prabhu speaking on the Shikshastakam. We're very fortunate. I actually was trying to ask Gadana Prabhu to introduce Vasudeva because I feel so shy to introduce Vasudeva because I have so much respect for him. And he's just one of the most incredible devotees in the entire world, and has selflessly dedicated his whole body, mind, and soul to the service of Radha Bhakti Center and the devotees for many, many years now. Joined at a young age, traveled as a brahmachari, doing book distribution, learned Pujari service in Vrindavan, is a disciple of Kadambakanda Maharaj and has Kadambakanda Maharaj's Giriraj Shila. Him and his wife did a beautiful Anakut offering for him yesterday. And he's been serving as the head Pujari here for many years, also a Sanskrit scholar and leads Bhakti Shastri courses, which many of you are enrolled in currently, and is also the senior educator here at Bhakti Center. And just a very, very, very deep and dedicated devotee. So let's give him a round of applause.
Timirandasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Andeham Shri Guru Smrita Bharadama Shri Guru Shri Rupa Sahagana Raghunatham Nam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Parama Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanamidam Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Nirapate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostite Tapta Vanchana Gauravani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwamana Devi Namali Devi Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Vitasindhu Devacha Padita Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vasadam Bangam Langayate Girim Kripatam Mandeshi Gurum Dinatarinam Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you all for being here today. Especially as Champaka mentioned, after so many festivals, Friday, Saturday, and we continue today. So thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone who's viewing online. Back for the blessings of all the devotees to speak on a somewhat difficult topic today, because it's the most I'll be speaking on Shikshastakam verse 7, which kind of takes us to the most elevated levels of love for Krishna, Krishna Prema, which I have no understanding or experience of. So that makes it hard to speak in a relevant way. Speak something which is realized always impacts the heart more. So it's not so much realization for me on this topic, but still I'll try to explore it. Sometimes we can explore a topic, although we don't have so much realization, we can explore it and increase our appreciation for that thing, and increase our desire and our. There's a lot of things we haven't realized in bhakti. Some things are very lofty, but part of the cultivation of bhakti is the cultivation of our aspiration. And unless we have some understanding what the lofty things we can aspire for, then we don't. So in that spirit, I'd like to explore this topic today. So we'll speaking on the topic of love and separation. And we'll explore this topic from different examples of the Bhagavatam. And then also, I'll try to speak something how this is relevant for us at this stage in our development, and what Srila Prabhupada specifically said about this verse, which we'll speak about today. But first we'll go on to the verse itself. So, we're going to Jagannath Puri. Who of you has been to Jagannath Puri? So Jagannath Puri is a sacred place in India, on the east coast. And there Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu resided for many years, for about 24 years. He had his base there at least. And he had a very, very tiny small room there. Who of you has been, anyone who has been to Puri must have been to his room, the Gambhira. He had a very small room there, where he's sitting with two associates, Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar. And together they are discussing the Shikshastakam, they're relishing this Shikshastakam. Shikshastakam, and for those of you who are coming new to this series, Shiksha means instruction, Astakam means 8. It's a series of 8 verses which gives the essence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. For those of you who don't know who's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we won't go there, but you'll get the sense of it as we speak. So we heard about Sri Krishna Sankirtanam in the first verse. How by the glorification of Krishna, and specifically the chanting of Krishna's holy names, our love for Krishna can awaken. And that awakening of love for Krishna is a whole process. It's a gradual process and all those steps are kind of outlined in the Shikshastakam, the different stages of development. Anyone remembers any of the stages which develop from Sri Krishna Sankirtanam up to the stages where we're talking about today, which is love for Krishna? Any verse you may remember? Yeah, Trinada Pisa Nichina, to be humble, like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree, to offer all respects to others. This is a consciousness which can arise from the glorification of Krishna. What else? Anyone was here for the last class? What?
I was here for the last class, but I don't know what answer you're looking for. You're like, what happens in Madhurya Kadambini, like the different stages?
Yes, exactly.
Like Anartha, Vritti, Nisha, Bhava, Karan.
Yes. So where does Bhava appear in the Shikshastakam?
Verse 6?
Yes, verse 6. So from further aspiration to love Krishna, through the process of bhakti, one develops bhava. Bhava is defined as the complete softening of the heart, and it's a descent of the internal potency on the heart of the devotee, in which the devotee experiences their eternal relationship with Krishna. And very strong, ecstatic, emotional feelings in relationship to Krishna. Either as a servant of Krishna, as a friend of Krishna, as a parent of Krishna, as a lover of Krishna. And when those strong feelings occur, then there's also bodily symptoms which manifest from that, such as shivering, standing of the hairs on end, perspiration, crying. Yeah. So all these symptoms can be imitated, but generally devotees don't like to show these symptoms. But sometimes when these symptoms become very strong, they can be checked. So yes, these symptoms. So Lord Chaitanya, he prays, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy names? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy names? So, Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti is the first, it's considered the first ray of love of God. So Bhava Bhakti is nothing but love of God.
I can confirm that.
Yeah. It's just not the full manifestation of love for Krishna. That's the technical definition of Bhava Bhakti. So, and Krishna Prema is, where Bhava is like the sun ray, and Prema is like the full appearance of the sun. So now we're going to hear about that. Now we're going to see the full appearance of the Son of Krishna Prema appearing in the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita as exhibited by Lord Chaitanya. So I'll read here on Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 20, text 41. Govinda virahe shunya haila tribhuvan Tusha. Sorry, actually, I have to go a few verses back. Rashantara varshe hoila vigyoga spuran udvega vishad danya kara pralapan. Someone would like to read the translation?
Separation from Krishna woke various bellows of distress, lamentation, and humility. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a crazy man.
Yes. So again, various feelings arose in Sri Chaitanya: distress, lamentation, humility. They all manifestation of very strong separation of the beloved. So this is the verse of the Shikshastakam. Yugaitam niveshena chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Someone like to read the translation here?
My Lord Govinda, because of separation from you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world spoiled.
Yes. So yugaitam nimeshena. A moment appears like a yuga. A yuga yuga means 12 years. Or yuga can also mean 4.3 million years. And it's a very long time. Chakshusha pravishaitam. And we heard in the previous verse about crying, like tears decorating my eyes. But now it's not just like tears decorating the eyes. Chakshusha pravishaitam. There's torrents. Pravishaitam means like a monsoon rain. There's torrents of tears flow from my eyes. Shunyayatam Jagat Sarvam. And the whole world appears like a dreary void. Shunyayatam. Shunya means void. The whole world appears like a dreary void. Why? Govinda Virahin. Because of my separation from Govinda. Or because of separation from my Govinda. So here, Sri Chaitanya is really entering into the mood of Sri Radha. The whole Shikshastakam is like the development towards this point. But in these last two verses, 7 and 8, he really fully manifests that mood, her love. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his commentary, he writes how prema has also different stages, and I won't go into all the details and the technicalities of that, but there's different stages like pranaya, sneha, it's all identified. And anyone knows what's the highest stage of prema, of pure love for Krishna, how that is called? Yeah, Mahabhava. The great ecstasy. Like I said, prema is nothing but bhava, it's just a complete, full manifestation of ecstatic, emotional love. So that pinnacle of love is called bhava, Mahabhava. And Sri Radha, she's called Mahabhava Swarupini. What do you think that means? Mahabhava Swarupini.
She's the embodiment.
Yes, she's the very embodiment of Mahabhava. So different devotees have different, manifest different aspects of prema, but she's the complete, full embodiment of that pinnacle of love, which Krishna wanted to experience, and that's why he took this form of Sri Chaitanya, to experience that, and also then to teach that to the world. Who knew about Sri Radha before Sri Chaitanya appeared in this world? Maybe you find some references here and there in the scriptures, but he really manifested that mood. He really made it very. He glorified it. He made it known. He made Radha famous. He made it known that she is the greatest lover of Krishna. And he especially does this in these last two verses. So, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he further describes what is this Mahabhava, what's the symptoms. Have any idea what the symptoms might be of Mahabhava? Yeah, it's a kind of madness. It's like almost like a delirious state. And in that state, what happens? When you are with Krishna, you consider, even if you're with Krishna for a kalpa is like a day of Brahma. It's like 4.3 billion years. If you're with Krishna, that appears like a moment. And if you're without Krishna, one moment appears like the kalpa, like 4.3 billion years. And these terms are used to really help us understand like how intense it is. Because that even like one moment of not being with Krishna at that point is like very, very, it feels like you're bereft of everything. So that's the symptom of Mahabhava. That the love becomes so intense that with Krishna, time flies by, and without Krishna, it just never ends. So let's read one more verse here. Two more verses. How Krishna's Kaviraj further elucidates this verse. Udvega divasanaya kshana hoila yugasam vashara mega praya asu varishenayan. Someone please read.
In my agitation, a day never ends, for every moment seems like a millennium. pouring incessant tears. My eyes are like clouds in the rainy season.
I hope you have ever been in India in the rainy season. I've never been there, unfortunately, but we have torrential rains here sometimes, but still the monsoons, it's like, you know, it's just like one dense mass of water just pouring from the sky. It's almost like you know, buckets are literally like falling, from what I've understood from others. Downpour. Govinda virahe shunya hoile tribhuvan tushanale pore yena najaya jivan.
The three worlds have become void because of separation from Govinda. I feel as if I were burning alive in a slow fire.
I feel as if I were burning alive in a slow fire. Hope you want to attain. This is kind of like, you know, in the dark ages of this world, and still sometimes it's going on, like one of like the torture methods is like not to just burn someone alive, but like in a very slow, gradual way. So it seems like he's speaking about torture, but that's actually not what it is. That's not what it is. And there's this very big difference between the suffering of separation in this material world and this spiritual separation. It's actually not misery. There's another verse I'll just read for you. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke, "My dear beautiful friend," you're all beautiful friends here. "If one develops love of Godhead, love of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, all the bitter and sweet influences of this love will manifest in one's heart. Such love of God acts in two ways. The poisonous effects of love of God defeat the severe and fresh poison of a serpent. Yet there is simultaneously transcendental bliss which pours down and defeats the prey of nectar and diminishes its value." So just think of like the sweetest, most life-giving nectar, like something you drink in a completely, nectar is like has a very sweet taste, but it also like completely invigorates you. So it completely thrills. It's an ecstasy, it's a bliss which completely thrills the very core of the soul. So ordinary nectar is diminished. In other words, love of Krishna is so powerful that it simultaneously defeats the poisonous effects of a snake, as well as the happiness derived from pouring nectar on one's head. So the nectar is not just like dripping in the mouth, it's pouring all over you. It is perceived as doubly effective, simultaneously poisons the nectarian. Now you may still wonder, well, I like the nectarian part, but do I really have to do the poisonous part? Well, that's the catch. That is the ecstasy of love for Krishna is so great. Rupa Goswami makes a very detailed analysis of this, with many references for the scripture, that experiencing even like a drop of that nectar, all material happiness and even all spiritual happiness of like impersonal liberation, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, that complete peace of spiritual liberation, it's completely dwarfed by even a drop of the ecstasy of love for Krishna. The depth of that emotion and the bliss which that generates is just incomparable and inconceivable. But those who do experience it, they say there's nothing beyond this, and they would not. They so much so that they lose interest for anything else. That's a testimony we hear about. So, but with that comes that intense bliss is experienced, especially in union with Krishna. When the devotee is with Krishna, then the happiness knows no bounds. But then because of that, when one is separated from Krishna, then also there's that strong burning sensation in the heart of this immense grief and lamentation of being separated from Krishna. But it doesn't stop there. And that's why, although that misery is there, that misery is immediately overcome by something else. What happens when the devotee is separated from Krishna?
They long for Krishna? They long for the Lord?
Yeah, they long for him. What else?
The love actually increases.
The love increases, and then when the love increases, what happens?
Plunge into deeper anxiety.
Finds the Lord? Wrong answer.
Remembrance.
Yes. Immediately there's this intense remembrance of Krishna. You'll find it, and we'll look at some examples of the Shastra. As soon as that separation is there, immediately the devotees become almost like mad in this remembrance of Krishna. And is he different from his remembrance, or is he the same? Yes, Krishna is all pervading. So he appears personally, almost in a more intense way, in that very deep remembrance. So is the devotee truly separated from Krishna ever? So they always experience that bliss. But sometimes there's the bliss, it takes the form of the immense bliss of separation. Then there's the immense bliss of union. Sometimes there's the suffering of separation, but that immediately is coupled by the intense bliss of experiencing Krishna, the very same Krishna, in the remembrance and in the longing for him, where he's personally appearing in that. So that's why the dual effect is there. But really the suffering is just the signal. It's like the immense bliss which overrides it. That's why the devotees are experiencing it. They're not thinking like, oh, I wish I, can just kind of become peaceful again. Like, let me just try some more Om Shantis and then I'll be more happy. No, they cannot give it up. They can't give up Krishna. Once you experience Krishna and become attached to him, then that's it. There's no way back from that. Again, I'm speaking completely theoretical here, but in the mood of understanding this and understanding what is the ultimate aspiration of bhakti, is the development of this kind of love. So I want to explore a little bit this theme of separation and remembrance. And it's very moving. We find very moving passages in the scriptures. Of course, there's the example of the gopis. I want to kind of end there, but I thought it would be nice to look at the subject in a bit of a broader way, from also other examples in the Bhagavatam, because this is a theme which is kind of weaved throughout the Bhagavatam, this love and separation. It's a very important theme, actually. Lord Chaitanya really brought it out, but it's there throughout the Bhagavatam. Can anyone remember anything like very early on in the Bhagavatam of? Yes, Jani Thakur.
Queen Kunti.
Yeah, Queen Kunti, and Krishna's about to leave, and he hasn't even left yet, but she's already feeling separation from him.
Is she also mentions about the calamities coming again and again, and she prays because when he's not present, she feels his presence by remembering him.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, yes. Thank you.
Also, Narada Muni
Yeah.
has darshan of the Lord, and then after the darshan, he tries to repeat the same sadhana that he did, but he gets the message that you will not see me again in this life, and it speaks about how because he had further purification to undergo, and that purification would happen through his intense longing and separation to see the Lord again.
Yeah, thank you. That's the very first example actually which appears in the Bhagavatam. Narada Muni, the young boy, he meditates and Krishna appears on the lotus of his heart, and he feels how every part of his body, all his senses, his internal senses come completely alive. And he feels like, I'm finally experiencing what I've been looking for all my life, and so many lifetimes. The appearance of the Lord in his heart completely satisfied his mind and his mind's desires. And then the Lord disappears immediately. So what does he do? How does he live the rest of his life?
Longing to see the Lord again.
Yeah, that's all he does. He continuously travels around the world almost like a madman, chanting, remembering Krishna, and just longing to again be united with him.
And it's the same with Parikshit Maharaj, because he was saved within the womb of his mother from the Brahmastra. And so after Krishna saved him in the womb, isn't that what his name also means?
Yes.
It's like he's constantly like, when will I see him again?
Yeah, it's parikshate.
Yeah.
Looking, pari means all around, and ikshate means sees, or examining. Looking all around. Where is Krishna? So yes. There's another, in the same canto, there's another, even actually a much more intense description of separation.
That's a different canto. I was thinking of another one. You're in the first canto. I was thinking Bhishma Dev, but that's not so intense. But he was also pining and longing to have Krishna darshan before he left his body.
Yes, and then Krishna appeared. So it's more like a description of union there we find.
But he was pining in the beginning.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's even a way, than all these examples, there's a way more intimate devotee, and who has who experienced a lot more separation.
Oh, Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Yeah.
Arjuna.
After Krishna left.
So Arjuna, he stayed in Hastinapur with his brothers, and he went to Krishna's place, Dwaraka, and he was gone for 7 months. While he was gone, Yudhishthira Maharaj started to worry about him, like, where's Arjuna? I haven't heard anything from him. And meanwhile, what is he seeing?
He's seeing.
Omens.
He's seeing all kinds of auspicious omens. Inauspicious omens. Like, he's, the jackals are howling at the sun. He's seeing the deer passing on his left side. There's like trembling in his body, which are all considered inauspicious signs. The deities in the temple, they seem to be crying. There's a whole, it's like a series of like 10 or 15 verses just full of inauspicious symptoms. Like the whole world seems to, like a kind of, like, it's like, and my wife she's a real lover of the Lord of the Rings. It started like, the world has changed, I can feel it in the air, I can sense it in I forgot the whole thing. But it was that experience, like a great darkness has come into this world and the whole atmosphere has changed. And then Arjuna comes in, and Yudhishthira has never seen Arjuna in this state. He's pale, tears in his eyes, he's kind of like hunched over, He looks very weak, very frail, and very, very, very dejected. So he asked Arjuna, what's going on, Arjuna? Have you not been able to fulfill your promise? Have you perhaps not given shelter to someone who approached you for that? So he gives like different reasons why Arjuna could be so unhappy. But then he didn't want to say it up straight because it's just too painful for him to just say that straightforwardly. Actually, it's a real beautiful verse. It's the last verse of the 14th chapter. Kaschit prishtat Kachit prishtatama menatha ridhayena bandhana sunyosme rahito nityam manyasete nyatanaruk. Or is it that you're feeling empty for all time because you may have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna? Oh, my brother Arjuna, I can think of no other reason for your becoming so dejected. So then Arjuna speaks after this. Sutta Goswami said, Arjuna, the celebrated friend of Lord Krishna, was grief-stricken.
Arjuna's battery was also running low.
Yes. Was grief-stricken because of a strong feeling of separation from Krishna. Over and above all Maharaj Yudhishthira's speculative inquiries. Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus heart had dried up. Therefore his body lost all luster. Now remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply. With great difficulty he checked the tears of grief that smeared his eyes. He was very distressed because Lord Krishna was out of his sight, and he increasingly felt affection for him. Remembering, so there's the grief in his heart, there's deep distress, Krishna's out of his sight, and then there's this increase of love. Remembering Lord Krishna and his well wishes, his benefactions, his intimate familiar relations, his chariot driving, Arjuna, overwhelmed and breathing very heavily, began to speak. Arjuna said, O king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who treated me exactly like an intimate friend, has left me alone. Thus my astounding power, which astounded even the demigods, is no longer with me. And just hear this verse. Yashakshana viyogena lokoya priyadarshana ukthena rahito hesha mritaka prochate yatha. I've just lost him, whose separation for a moment render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. So Arjuna has the same experience of without Krishna the whole universe appears like empty to him. But then again, it doesn't stop there. Then the rest of the chapter, Arjuna, he almost like enters into this deep trance of loving remembrance of Krishna. How Krishna saved him from so many troubles. How he protected him on the battlefield against the most valiant warriors. And nobody could even hurt him or touch a hair on his head because of Krishna's protection. How he drove his own chariot. How he would walk around with him. How he would sleep on the same bed with Lord Krishna. How he would sometimes joke with him, and in his joking sometimes he would, make fun of Krishna even. He had such sweet, intimate dealings with Krishna. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, became his most intimate, beloved friend, who acted with him almost on the equal level. So Arjuna is now feeling so overwhelmed with separation, but you can imagine the longing and the bliss of those remembrance, how strong they are. And we experience a reflection of this in the material world. And the material world is such, and the word viyoga is here. There's a beautiful verse by Prahlad Maharaj. He said, this world, actually I can pull it up here. This world is such, he said, Sakala Yonishu Dayaman. He said, I am burning. And we have heard about Lord Chaitanya burning in the slow fire. So this is Prahlad Maharaj from a different perspective, taking the perspective of us, the conditioned souls, who are separated from Krishna in a different way. And out of forgetfulness, out of ignorance, and out of us wanting to live a separate life from our relationship with Krishna. We're all here in this material world because we're trying to find happiness, leaving aside our most beloved, intimate friend. That person who's our very, very self, who we cannot live without our relationship with Krishna. Our whole life is actually void. We cannot live without a relationship with Krishna. If you're conscious of it or not. And Prabhupada explains in one of the purports to the verses about Arjuna. The body has no life without the soul being present. Similarly, the universe doesn't have life without the Supreme Soul being present. And the Jiva, the Jiva Atma, the Vibhinangsha Atma, the tiny spark Atma, we have no independent existence. We subsist entirely on the existence of the Paramatma, the Supreme Self. We don't have a separate nature. Just like a particle of sunshine. Is a particle of sun, can you separate the particle of sunshine from the sun? It has no separation. But we are separated out of illusion, out of forgetfulness, and out of ignorance because we're so absorbed in this external display. And our attempts to seek happiness there, having lost that relationship with Krishna. And as a result, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Dayamanana, we are burning. Sakala Yonisha, in all species of life, every living being is burning. Why? By what fire are we burning? So he says, Priya Viyoga Samyoga Janma Shok Agnina. This is a very long word, but it's a really, really profound idea. By the fire, the Agni of Shoka, of grief and lamentation, whose birth, Janma, whose origin is what? Priya Viyoga Samyoga. By Samyoga means connection, what is Priya? Or Apriya. So when do we become happy? When we have some yoga, what is priya, what is pleasing and dear to us. Now, when there's viyoga, separation of what is priya viyoga, separation what is dear to us, what happens? Like you have a very close friend and the friendship breaks for some reason. You burn. You suffer. You get separated. There's viyoga from what is priya. And similarly, what happens if you in the course of life, we all meet like distress. We all meet suffering. So when there's samyoga, what is apriya, what is not dear to us, what's not pleasing, when there's connection to that, when we meet with that, what happens?
Joy.
No, when there's I'm sorry, I have my notes.
Yeah.
When there's samyoga, when there's connection with apriya, what is not dear to us, what happens?
Sadness.
Sadness, again, there's lamentation, there's grief. And when we meet with a disease or separation again, and when there's separation from that situation of suffering,
Relief.
then there's relief. So then there's some sense of joy. So actually a lot of the joy we experience in this world, you can really like observe it.
Relief.
It's just relief from the burn. Like if you look at nightlife, and this is like the nightlife era, I can never forget it. It's so much is just like it's forgetting the burn and the relief you experience in your day-to-day life. So this is the fire everybody's burning in. So whether we burn in pure love for Krishna, which is coupled with great ecstasy, or we burn in this material world, this is kind of the choice we ultimately have. So yes, that's why the separation in the material world is very different from this. Because we are all, it's also a burning sensation, but it's not coupled with the great ecstasy of union with Krishna.
So, in like the material world, when you lose a friend, you feel suffering. However, when you were describing earlier, when Krishna is separated from Arjuna, there is kind of positive emotion. Like, what is the difference there between?
Yeah, great question. I was just about to go there. So, what's your name?
Ram.
Ram. So Ram is asking, what's the difference between us being separated from a friend or Arjuna being separated from a friend? The difference is, all our relationships in this world, they're not eternal relationships. Nor, let me start there first actually. The scriptures explain that a lot of our relationships in this world are like us coming together like pieces of straw in the river, and then they'll get separated. So, although it's not that they were without any importance, but they're temporary. So, we don't have an eternal connection necessarily with other jivas in this world, but our eternal connection is always with the Supreme Soul. That relationship is always there. Now, and when we feel that separation from a friend, because that relationship is temporary, the feelings related to that will also dissipate in time. Whether in this life or sometime in the future, in the next life, when we've forgotten all our relationships from this life. Now we have Romeo and Juliet, right? The great story of love. And in the story, Juliet dies, or Juliet or Romeo thinks she has died. And as a result, Romeo kills himself.
So funny.
And then Juliet wakes up out of her. You may not know the entire story, but Juliet wakes up. She's not dead. And then she sees Romeo dead. And then she takes a dagger from him. She kills herself. But from another perspective, you can say, Romeo, you had this infatuation with Juliet. They were together for not so long. Maybe Romeo 30 years on, he'd be married with children, and Juliet would be long gone if it wasn't so. So that's the nature of this world. And things pass on, but our relationship with Krishna is never broken. And therefore, even though Arjuna is separated from Krishna on some level, he's actually never separated from Krishna. Because Krishna is always with him in his remembrance, and very soon Arjuna will be together again with Krishna, because they are eternal associates. Nitya Parikar. He's an eternal associate with Krishna. So actually Arjuna can never ever be separated from Krishna. Similarly, we all have an eternal relationship with Krishna. And although we may also, in due course, experience these feelings of separation, if we establish our relationship with Krishna, if we get to see him, if we get to be with him, and if we become separated from him on some level, external level, we'll actually never forget him, and we'll always be united with him in our remembrance. And soon we again come together with him. So yes. So this is what Srila Prabhupada says about this verse. How it's applicable to us. He says, it's a very beautiful conversation. Satchidananda Swami often speaks about this. So he says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's a sannyasi. He has no necessity. No material necessity. That's what he's speaking about. He's crying. Why is he crying for Govinda? He has given up the whole world as a sannyasi. Why is he crying for Govinda? That is real necessity. The Govinda necessity, he calls it. That's our true necessity. We think we need water, we need food, we need so many things, we need a place to live. Yes, we need all these things for our body. But what does our soul need? What's the food for the soul? What's the necessity for the soul? That is the relationship with Krishna. And without that relationship with Krishna, actually in our separation we're also burning from him in our present state. But if we actually feel separation like Lord Chaitanya, then we'll always be with Krishna, always be united with Krishna. Every moment actually we'll be experiencing him. And even more so in your separation, your love can become more intense. And you experience Krishna more in a deeper way. And then when you meet him again, then the ecstasy of that meeting is so much greater. So that goes on eternally, that dance of union and separation. And that's why Krishna does this also. This is why he disappears from the devotee. Like the gopis, and especially Sri Radha, they were separated from Krishna. And Krishna was with them only for a short time actually in this world. How many years? 14 years? How long was Krishna in Vrindavan? About 14 years? I forgot the exact number, but yes, about 11 of short time. But the rest of their lives, they were just like thinking of Krishna, remembering him constantly, and talking about him all the time. So Uddhava, at some point, he came to Vrindavan and he's witnessed all of this. He saw all the gopis there, and especially Sri Radha, and they were like almost like in a state of madness. And he's even more intimate to Krishna and Arjuna, but this kind of love for Krishna he had never seen. So much so, what was his desire after meeting the gopis?
To become a blade of grass.
Yes, everyone who went to Vrindavan and Champagal will know. To become a blade of grass somewhere in Vrindavan so that the dust of the gopis could go over him. So, he worshipped the gopis at the topmost level. And then Lord Chaitanya, he manifests that very intense love. I don't have time to go more into this. Maybe it's also not the appropriate setting. But we can take inspiration from this. The last thing I wanted to say, why does Krishna do this to his devotees? So Uddhava had a message to the gopis. And the message was from Krishna. Like he says, sometimes I separate myself from the devotee so that their love increases for me. And then when they see him, they like, the ecstasy is so much more. So this is continuously increases. So that's why Krishna actually does this, why he separates himself from the devotee, to increase their love and longing for him. And in this way increase their ecstasy. So yeah, if we sometimes don't feel Krishna, even in our lives, sometimes we experience him in our chanting and so on, but even if we don't see him, sometimes Krishna just does that. We don't feel him. He increases our love. He increases our longing for him. And in this way, we actually grow closer to him by increasing our longing for him. So that we can really understand that the real necessity is the Govinda necessity. That's my relationship with Krishna is the real food for my soul. So thank you so much.
Vasudeva Prabhu ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna, now we will have Damodar-Astakam. So I will pass out the sheets and we'll have an opportunity to offer lamps to Shri Radha and Muralidhar. So please stay. Thank you. Oh. Sorry. Totally forgot.
Hare Krishna, thank you all so much for coming to Bhagavata Sravana, and again, thank you to Vasudeva for speaking and enlightening us all on the Shikshastakam. So grateful. This is our weekly Sunday program, happens every Sunday. Please come back again and again. Next Sunday we have a very special speaker, Praladananda Swami is coming, and he will be doing a special class on the Prabhupada's stories. So please come for that next Sunday. And we just had a wonderful 2 days of festivals. The next festival is on Tuesday. It is the Disappearance Day of Srila Prabhupada, and we'll be having a festival here on Tuesday evening. So please check the website under Temple for more information about that. And please also join our beautiful temple newsletter run by Baba Bhakti Devi and Jaini Tai Prabhu. If you think that the temple newsletter has become way more better, please say Haribol.
Haribol! Haribol.
So grateful for their temple newsletter and WhatsApp service, which is really making a very big difference. So if you want to sign up for those, please sign up for those. And we have a beautiful prasadam lunch served in the back for you all, cooked by our wonderful devotee cooks. I have really a theory that you have to be a very pure devotee to be a cook at Bhakti Center, because our cooks are such saints. So if you don't know them, maybe even go up to the kitchen sometime and thank them for their incredible service, because they're very humble and sweet and loving devotees who also come to Mongol Arati every day. So please stay and have prasadam in the back and leave a donation. You have an announcement.
Wednesday
On Wednesday, Prabhupada Meditations, we're going to
Yes.
be showing the final lesson video.
Krishna. Wow, so also every Wednesday we have a Prabhupada Meditations program from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. right around the corner at 26 2nd Avenue. And this Wednesday we'll be showing the final lesson. So please come to that if you can. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I was.
No, please.